They should be. Should just show this bit. It's much better fun than going, what's going on this week with the team? Anyway, right, okay, let's do that bit. Let's do the bit where it's really boring. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Almost a crisis, isn't it? No win in 2 games?
Well, it's a fair one, yeah. No, I've actually been pleased. Chelsea was a tough game. You know, they're a top side, and I know they've had a couple of sort of quiet games over the sort of last month or so, but against us, I thought they were really good. And I thought we had a window of about 25 minutes in the second half where we kind of might have sneaked something, but overall they were the better side and won rightly so in the end. But against Stoke, I thought we gave a good performance, and particularly second half, I thought we were really strong as the game was going down to the final whistle. And arguably on another day you could have won it, but Stoke are fighting and they're fighting hard, so not an easy game for different reasons. So overall, I've been generally pretty pleased, and particularly with the Stoke performance.
In terms of trusting the players, and you've given them some time off this week, is that just about keeping a bit of freshness in the squad? It's not easy at this stage, is it, this season, when they've got so many miles on the clock? No, that's right, and as you know, our players do put some miles on the clock, so it's important to recognise that. A few down days on the back of a big week, physically and mentally, you know, there's a lot going on at the club at the minute, as everyone knows, and talk of Europe, etc., etc. You know, we want the players to be fresh for the challenge, and hopefully they'll use that a few down days to come back in. They were certainly bright today, but we want them bright for when the whistle blows, obviously. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about Europe all the time, as you're probably aware.
I am aware of that.
I know, yeah. Is there an A-flip chart and a B-flip chart with kind of plans and what you're going to do in terms of...
No, we tend to not use flip charts that much anymore. You know, that's a yesteryear thing. It's a yesteryear thing. We have iPads and all sorts of crazy stuff. TV screens and all sorts.
But is there an A and B plan that you're kind of putting together?
No. We have to be realistic about the bigger picture plan, which is always, you know, our recruitment anyway, regardless, you know, who do we want in, what can we affect, the finance involved in doing so, or the possible finance involved in doing so. It doesn't really, it changes the thinking, the planning, sorry. You know, the thinking stays the same, but the planning changes, obviously. You know, should we get it done, and should we be in Europa with the change of dates and the game schedule? But it's more or less what we do anyway, is to, you know, as I've said many times, and forgive me for it, but we can't really cherry pick. There's a few players we think we could affect, but even then, sometimes, you know, they go away. So it's more about what's out there that we can affect, what can we bring in, and keep our ear to the ground for the right players. My point is, regardless whether, you know, we're into Europa or not, you know, it's an ongoing process for us.
But do you get the impression from maybe the calls you're getting from agents of people that you're suddenly a different proposition because you're not Burnley that was fourth from bottom, that suddenly you could be seventh from top?
I don't really know. I'm not. I mean, it's not an obvious thing, but I think it's fair to say that there'll be some agents maybe throwing players at us who maybe they wouldn't have before, because, you know, there is a kind of thing where people look and go, well, you know, quite like Burnley, are they going to stay up in the Premier League? Are they going to be in the Premier League, etc., etc.? But not doing us down, just because they know it's a big challenge, you know, on an ongoing basis. But this year has been a strong sign of what we're about. So I think there probably is people out there who maybe were looking, going, okay, well, they're more of an attractive proposition at the moment. But to be honest, it still doesn't guarantee, you know, getting the right players in or the players you want in.
And in terms of that, I mean, there's discussion about Scotty Arfield and Dean Marney. Is there any kind of update on either of them and what their future is?
Yeah. It's both tremendous servants, you know, for the club. And if their futures can be aligned in a simple process, then we would obviously be open to that, because it's important for any player here. You know, we try and be really fair with our players, but particularly ones who have done what they've done. For themselves, for the team, for me, for the club, you know, fantastic servants. And Rangers came through and asked us about Scotty Arfield, what his position was. Scotty was a boyhood Rangers fan, you know, and that one's pretty simple in its form, you know, in the sense that if they want to speak to him, we said, yeah, of course, we understand it. And Dean Marney's searching for the next challenge, you know, what's coming his way, and a couple of managers who have spoken to him, and the possibilities. He's fit, he's well, he's been involved with us. We're certainly respectful of these people. We are with everyone here, but you know, obviously these are two players who have done a lot for this football club, and obviously we hope that things work out in their favour.
In Dean's case, I get frustration that certainly recently you've not seen the player for obvious reasons that you did see in flashes before his injury.
Yeah, but I must say, but he's come back strong from that, and he's a fantastic athlete, a real demand, a real strong-mindedness to what the challenge is as a midfield player, and in that process of him being out, you got to remember, I think we've got some good players in there as well, and Dino is a good player. But, we can only carry so many before you start thinking, well, that's too many. But Dino's at the end of his contract, and it's just sometimes it's just a natural fact of his contract running out. We've got other players in the contract that I feel are just in front of him at the moment. But he's still a very, very good player. And I think he'll do a really, really good job wherever he goes next.
Well, those outgoings and obviously incoming could be a busy summer, couldn't it, in terms of people coming in, because numbers, and if you've got more games in your...
We'll wait and see. I mean, last year was pretty busy. It's like I was suggesting, there's certain situations we think we can affect more easily than others. We're not under pressure for outgoings because everyone's in good contract positions. And also the strength of the club now. Financially we're in a very, very strong position. So any decision on that will be down to the club and myself and the board and the owner, of course, and chairman. But the point is that we're a different animal year on year because of what we keep achieving. So we get stronger with our players who are in-house, and possibly stronger if something comes our way that we think is appropriate.
And easy to say the most satisfying season that you've managed in, or is it when you
well, it's satisfying for different reasons though, because all the seasons I've had here are different. They've all got a positive to them. Very quickly, the first season was a group that I'd taken over. Where could we finish with that group? Despite looking over our shoulder a bit in the Championship, we finished 11th. Then the following season was a fantastic season. I've said many times, probably the ultimate season in a group of players, just giving every inch of themselves to the cause and getting promoted. Then the challenge of coming down, but building off the pitch. So a massive positive for the actual bigger picture of the club. Going back up in a blaze of glory, 23 undefeated, win the title, and then into last season, which is the Premier League season, and then adjusting from the first time, learning a bit more about it, putting a bit more finance in because we're in a position to do so, and then staying up and then building to now. So every season's had a different story, and it's been fantastic. It's hard to choose the one, the favourite one just for the romance of it was the first promotion, because the numbers that are involved in that are unfathomable now, for teams in the Championship to get promoted on the numbers we were working at, and the players and the dynamic of the players. Some kind of 17 pros were more or less used week in, week out. And so I still marvel at that season. But then you look at this season for different reasons, what the players have achieved this season. Like I say, 23 undefeated to take the title in the Championship. The more I talk about it, I'm going to start crying in a minute. There's that many good things. But it continues. The way the players are conducting themselves, the way they're going about it, deserve huge, huge credit, I think.
It's almost a very impressive Sean Dyche 1 minute CV, that.
Well, you asked me a question, I just got a bit of a ramble, which I attempt not to do. But, like I said, I'm nearly tearing up in the end. So many good times and, so much work involved. But that's what you enjoy as a manager, the work, the constant thriving to be successful for you, your staff, the players. And when these times are here, like now, and you're asking me about Europe and things like that, well, you've got to, even me, I'm pretty level about it, but you still got to pull your head out the sand once in a while and go, actually, a lot's been delivered and continued. It's continued. But the players are enormous in that. They deserve huge amounts of credit, and they continue to show why with the way they're going about it.
So is your message to them for the last 3 games just get this job done? Let's do it?
No, my message to them is just keep doing what you're doing, because it's served us well. And, we adapt probably every pre-season. The staff go away with thoughts on, okay, what can we add in? What can we change? How can we move forward? But at the moment, keep doing what you're doing because it's serving us well.
And Brighton, just a different test of anyways. I mean, they put in a couple more points just to make sure they're safe.
Yeah, I mean, they're in great shape. Had a very good season.
And a great result against Spurs.
Yeah, very, very good season. I respect all managers, particularly people like Chris. He's worked very hard for himself and what he's achieved and the teams he's worked with. And I think his team go about it in a really good fashion. I like the way they play. I like the fact they're not precious about the way they play. They'll defend it out. They'll put the ball forward when they need to. They can pass. They can play. And look very strong to stay in the division. And that's a tough thing. It seems really easy. I remember when we first went up, people were saying, you might only need 10 or 11 wins. I just say it like that, and you think, oh yeah, it's a walk in the park. That it's not easy. It's not easy. So credit to all the teams that have come up, and so far have got a strong chance, or certainly a good chance of staying in the division. It could be all three this year, which is hard to do.
Yeah, final point from me. There's talk of Wembley being sold. I think Shahid Khan is putting a bid. It might mean that England play less games at Wembley. It might in the semi-finals move to other grounds. Just want your observations or views on that.
I wasn't aware of it. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Is there have I got a financial angle or?
You might want to tell me it's fantastic that England are going to be on the road, or you might that the semi-finals might be at Villa Park.
Do we know for sure? I'll give you an opinion. If we know for sure, are they going on the road? Are England going on the road? Are the games changing? Semi-finals changing?
Play when the NFL's on.
Okay, I'll leave them to worry about that. I think I'll just sit here and Brighton. Let's talk about Brighton.
Fantastic.
No, I'll leave that one. You can
at least I asked.
Fill this space whatever you wish.
Cheers.
Thank you. Okay.
Cheers.
Can you get cameras off then, please?